Let's talk about the importance of sleep, nutrition, as well as emotional well-being on a deeper level when it comes to aging back and looking your absolute best. My name is Adabala. I'm the author of the book, You Are a Genius at Aging Backwards, Queen of Wellness, Queen of Aging Back, mogul. So if you have not purchased this book, it is available on Amazon as well as Take a Lot here in South Africa. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. I am new on YouTube. I am on TikTok already over a year with 25,000 subscribers, and I need to grow my YouTube. So welcome, guys. So the first thing I want to talk about is sleep. A lot of people do not take sleep seriously. They bypass, they sleep. They're like, there's a saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And, I don't need to sleep, 7, 8 hours. I can function on 5 hours. I hear a lot of people say that. And when I was writing my book, I did a lot of research when it comes to sleep as to what does it actually take to get the proper sleep. Literally, my last chapter is called Why Are We Awake? And this all talks about how sleep affects our mental health, our emotional wellness, as well as how we age and our overall health. So when it comes to sleep, the most important thing is that you get your deep sleep, which is REM sleep. Okay? So when you are getting REM sleep, you are getting sufficient sleep that is going to affect your health positively. Now, if you're not getting REM sleep, you've got insomnia, you need to find ways of actually trying to get to sleep. The recommendation that I can give you is that you look at some supplements that have magnesium complex can help, theanine can help. So those two supplements are a great sleep cocktail. There's also one called Apigenin, which you can look up. If you take those three things, L-theanine, Apigenin, as well as magnesium, which is a common mineral which is responsible for 500 cellular reactions in the whole body's function, is going to help you to sleep better. Those three things together are an amazing cocktail rather than just taking one, especially if you have a chronic sleeping problem. So number 2 is that your cortisol levels have to be down. When talking about cortisol levels, if you're not aware, is stress levels. So if you are constantly stressed, whether it be your work that is stressing you, whether it be a relationship or friendship, you need to get rid of those things right now because they're gonna age you. So you have to either find a way to cope better with your lifestyle if it's stressful. If you have a stressful job, for example, and you can't leave your job, you need to find a way to cope with that environment and make it less stressful, or you need to change your job. If it's a relationship that's stressing you, you need to leave that relationship, okay? Because there is no relationship that should be stressing you out so significantly that it affects your health, your emotional well-being, and how you're going to look, okay? So a lot of people, they underestimate these things, but they do play a big role in how it affects the way you look, the way you feel. I feel like the way I feel is the most important thing, because feeling good and being at peace is really something to be cherished. You're not always going to feel good because as human beings, we have fluctuations of emotions, yes. But you need to work on feeling better most of the time if you are going to look your best, if you're going to be healthy and you're going to have a great lifespan as well as health span. Looking and feeling good, they are interconnected. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is that when it comes to nutrition, If you are someone that cares about how you look and you don't want to age fast, and you know you are addicted to certain foods, one of the foods that I am personally addicted to, that I want to actually eventually eradicate completely out of my life, is sugar. Cakes, chocolates. I am definitely an addict when it comes to that. However, I think addict is a bit of an exaggeration, but I will say that I do love my chocolate and cake every now and again. It's not something that I have every day, I wish. And what this does with sugar is that it causes glycation, and glycation accelerates the aging process. Now, sugar doesn't only come in the form of cakes and chocolates, it can come in the form of sugary drinks, for example. I don't do sodas at all. I stopped having sodas. It can come in the form of your cereal, which they put sugar in everything these days. So that one is quite a challenge to overcome, but it definitely is a possibility. There are many alternatives and substitutes that we can use to avoid sugar at all costs. When you are drinking, for example, don't go for the cider, rather go for something like a tequila, a gin, or a vodka. And yes, just try to avoid sugar at all costs, at every aspect of your life, of your nutrition or food. Try to avoid sugar, because that's going to help you to lower down the glycation that sugar causes, and you're going to feel better, and then you're going to look better. Bonus. So epigenetics basically is something that we are using to manipulate the aging process. Now we're talking on a deeper level as to what is it that really it takes to influence how you age and how you look your absolute best. By the way, I'm well into my late 30s right now, and I'm starting to see the results of this phenomena. Epigenetics is gene expression. So basically what you're doing with epigenetics is we're turning genes on and off, okay? So for example, when it comes to exercise, a lot of people see exercise as just fitness, or losing weight. However, there's a lot more to exercise than that, is what I discovered when I was writing my book and the chapter of exercise, where I speak about how exercise is so elite and how we need to put it on such a big pedestal. With exercise and epigenetics is that we are turning on, when we exercise, we turn on longevity genes. Older people that exercise compared to older people that don't exercise have a much younger and healthier body and have much less inflammation in the body, which is what makes people sick. So when we are talking about aging back and looking younger, we're not only doing external things, we are doing things that affect our genes. We are playing with epigenetics, gene expression, turning it on and off. When you exercise, you turn on your longevity genes, which are sirtuins, which make you live longer, okay, and also healthier. So that is what I would like to share today. I hope that it actually helped you to have a better mindset about why is it that you need to look after your sleep? Why is it that you need to look after your nutrition? Why is it that you need to do a little bit of exercise? By the way, when it comes to exercising, you don't have to be at gym for hours and hours. Find something that you love, that you're comfortable doing for long periods of time, because it's going to be the long game that is going to count, the marathon, and not necessarily sprint? It's not the sprint that counts, it's the marathon. So find ways that you can be there for longer. Test different things that you're comfortable with. By the way, it only takes 30 to 45 minutes for exercise to count. If you can do an activity that you can commit yourself to 30 to 45 minutes per day, you have won in the exercise game. It's enough to turn on those sirtuins. It's enough for it to affect your health in a positive way. So I hope that gives someone a different perspectives, because we always hear just basic advice: exercise, sleep, eat healthy, which that most people, it just goes over their head because it doesn't specify why you need to eat healthy, why you need to avoid the sugar, why you need to sleep well. What does it take to sleep well? What does it mean? You know, those are the kind of conversations I want to have with you guys, because I feel like when people give me basic level advice, it goes over my head. It doesn't affect me positively. It doesn't inspire me to get up and do something. I want to inspire you to say, I'm going to look after my sleep. I'm going to look much better after my emotional well-being, because it's raising what? My cortisol levels. And I don't want that. I want to feel better so that I can look better. And also understand that, yes, we are humans. You're not always going to feel your best, but out of, if you make marks out of 10, how many times do you actually feel good? So you obviously want a high mark where you feel like, I feel good most of the time. And then at least you have affected your stress levels, emotional well-being positively. So guys, if you enjoyed this content in this video, please like the video and please subscribe and comment and share, because I am new on YouTube. If you want to check out my other content, you can go to my TikTok. I almost said take a lot. And if you want to purchase my book, You Are a Genius at Aging Backwards, it is available on Takealot as well as Amazon. And yes, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.